Fascination with the body within a space. The desire to exploit this relation is what drove me for the last 2 years. Visiting the Leopold's Museum in Vienna, I was struck by an image. A sculpture of a boy by Belgian artist Georges Minne. The boy was kneeling, as if he tried his best to fit into the glass display box. Of course, the box was made to fit the boy, but it seemed this hierarchy was interchangeable. The body influenced the space, and vice versa. As I became aware of the duality, I started to wonder, where do I place myself as an architect, and how far does my influence on the body reach? To find out, I realized that I had the opportunity with this project to create the ideal circumstances. The nude body as the ideal subject to engage, the spatial gesture as my medium, the bathhouse as a context, and the abolition of shame and manifestation of pride as a goal. I found my site in the ice cellars of Ghent. An industrial heritage site consisting of 2 enormous brick volumes and a tunnel and tower that connects them to the waterfront. Ice was once shipped from Norway, rolled through the tunnel, hoisted up the tower shaft by a crane, and then dumped down the oculi. The dug-in cellars provide a convenient thermal inertia. Today, these cellars are located underneath a courtyard of student dorms. I did not focus my efforts on mediating with the built environment, as the buried cellars made no real connection. I began my endeavor right next to the largest cellar. As the visitors descend to the first space, they are immediately confronted with the nude bodies of other guests. The space wraps around the curved wall of the cellar and leaves guests wondering what lies at the other end. The changing room is set up as if it were a cathedral, a bright central corridor flanked by 2 dimly lit side aisles. The central passage is lit by light shafts, creating a rhythm of light and darkness. Underneath these shafts, columns of glazed white brick reflect the light, shimmering as if they had just gotten out of the bath themselves. The columns have a distinctive curved shape, petrifying the forces that are translated down. Guests are invited to undress in their protective embrace. They are not visible to new guests arriving, but share their nude bodies with other people that are also undressing. As the nude guests leave the column's shelter, they return to the central corridor, confronting new guests with their projected shame. Progressing through the room, the ceiling rises, introducing a sacral verticality. The column's proportions become more elegant. The concrete vaults wrap around the light shaft in a stepping movement. Where they reach the cellar wall, they interlock with brick consoles. At the end, a small water basin is placed underneath the highest shaft. The carabiner shape has mutated to a circular oculus. The lockers in front are fitted with mirrors, reflecting the body sevenfold, dissolving the last remnants of shame. The monumental entrance bathes the body in light. Endorsing the underground experience, a small staircase is suspended down from the vaulted ceiling of the cellar, floating above the water level. The sound of bare brick in the steel cases echoes around, reminiscent of the industrial past of the site. Brick platforms provide a gentle descent into the water, slowly revealing sections of the body. These platforms are submerged, making the body the only disturbance in the circular surface of the water, other than a steel handrail skimming over. Rudimental benches, constructed from bricks, are placed around the bath. Glazed white bricks caress the shoulders, and rough bricks provide the buttocks with grip. On the far side, a small perforation of the brick wall suggests the presence of another space. The second cellar comes as a surprise, as the largest cellar was the gravitational center of the whole experience up until this point. In the space between the two cellars, the ceiling is unexpectedly raised. Curved slanted walls of the cellar converge as if they are reaching out. A ceiling light grazes along the face of the concrete, juxtaposing the imprint of the casts and the masonry. The second cellar is fitted with a top cladded with glazed tiles, placed in the center as if it were a pedestal. It is filled with scalding hot water. The darkness and heavy air create a stark contrast with the first bath. The oculus is covered with a perforated steel cover as an interpretation of the elephant eye, a typology that can often be found in Turkish baths. The shape of these perforations resemble to the rusty carabiners that are hanging from the edge of the dome. Only now, the origin of the shape of the light shafts becomes apparent. A patch of rugged tiles in the path offers grip to the feet when leaving the tub. The railing guides the hand fluently from a support to a handlebar. As the guests leave the bath, they return to the changing room, facing the clothed newcomers and observing the absence of their own shame. The bricks of the opposing wall evolve from a smooth to a jagged surface, nudging them into the column's cover. They dress in solitude, facing away from other bodies that are present. The curved retaining wall bears witness to the force of surrounding soil. When leaving, the guest does not take the stairs back up, but takes the exit through the tunnel. The narrowing walls seem to elongate the distance. Here, the clash of glazed and rough textures culminate. The alternation of light lingers on in a play of reflection and refraction, before dissolving into the darkness of the tower shaft. Slightly off-center spiral staircase pendulates the body through the shaft in a dance of proximity and distance. One last straight separates the body from the return to the ordinary. Arriving at the bank of the Mönchshelder, the guests are free to choose their way back into the hastiness of everyday life.